Hello, Wanderers. Welcome to Wandering Night with us. Hashtag Wandering Wednesdays. And yes, everything is okay, Bobby. Thanks for checking in. You know, sometimes things happen. Good evening. Hello, fellas. Thanks for coming in. Nice to see you. And hello, everyone else who joins us this evening. We are excited to be here for our final show of 2025. That feels very weird. Very bizarre to say.
Oh.
What do you feel about that?
One that it's a little nice to have a break, and then also that 2 weeks is going to fly by. But the last of 2025 this year is almost there.
Hi, Genghis. Welcome. Yeah, so I just think that it's bittersweet, right? We love doing the show, and also breaks are good. And hopefully, you guys miss us when we're gone, or maybe you'll tune into a past show that you haven't listened to, or maybe you just sit back and enjoy the holiday season, whatever that looks like. Whatever that looks like. Whatever, I got distracted. Making sure it wasn't about the show, but yeah, so tonight we're going to be talking about I believe or not. But before we do, let's give a shout out to all of our places where you can find us. You can learn more about us at soulwanderings.com. We've been doing the show for many years, and we love our new platform on YouTube. We're just little fish swimming in a big, huge pond, but we're here for it. And we're just enjoying our time with you. And whatever may be. It's just beautiful all the way. During the day, we hang out at a place called Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit. That's where we get to assist humans in being their best selves and this human journey, like navigating it, working through it, healing it, all the good stuff, right? That's what we're here for. And then we get to do this with you. Hi.
Hi.
Once again, Natalie picked our topic. I have a whole list, but she keeps getting prompted. She keeps getting prompted to do this topic thing, and I'm here for it because when she gets the intuitive hit, let's go. Yeah.
I like it when my intuition, there's just like, oh, I think this, we need to talk about this aspect, or something comes out of this came out. I was listening to a podcast, and there was something about what was being expressed in this particular podcast that just jumped out, that said our framework of our beliefs and our structure, we're acting from that all the time, and it's within us, and it frames so much of our experience, what our belief structures are, or what we've fallen away from, or what we're in resistance to. So I thought, let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's that time. It's that time. And when you brought up the topic, I was like, oh, I'll be honest, I don't want to talk about the holidays. Not a fan. And it is different now having littles again, right? Because I have 2 grandbabies. And I'll tell you, I have shopped this week. And I'm not mad about it, but I'm not excited for Christmas still. I'm just like, nah. I'm struggling. So where I'm looking at everything energetically and emotionally, that's what I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah.
How this works with us. For me, mostly, it wreaks havoc on my nervous system.
The holidays.
Oh my gosh. Isn't it? It's just I have people in my life who love, 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 love December and love the holidays. Like close people, and I think they're insane. Love them, but I just can't get with it. But I appreciate those who can and go all out and just really that's such good energy, right? When they're just so, 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 so happy. And then
Yeah, I'm like, maybe.
no, some people are sickening happy about the holidays. They don't understand what it does to the rest of us.
Right.
So, yeah, go ahead and start. Take us on a journey of what went through you when you were feeling on this.
Well, it was coincidental. I mean, I guess it wasn't coincidental, but December was a factor in the conversation that it feels like we can just talk in the beginning. So my little nephew, who's 8 now, his parents didn't raise him with Santa Claus because
I didn't
not
know that.
at all. So he was not. His mom would celebrate because they do different things to her, but she would do the celebration of Yule, and so it wasn't even on Christmas Day because in the language of his mother, she said, "You teach your children not to lie, and then you tell them a lie about a Santa Claus."
I couldn't agree more. I struggled with that myself.
So, and it was a couple of years ago I was with him. So he was 5 or 6 at that time. And we were just walking through one of the stores around here and there was Christmas stuff. And he said, "I wish Santa Claus were real."
Oh.
And that was what he just said. He just expressed that, understanding it wasn't. But so it's been a different perspective to see a little young boy grow up without that.
Mhm.
Without that belief that Santa Claus is real and not with, and his little statement was an awareness of me that there's this little magic that's going on. If you are so pragmatic and so realistic about the world, there's a bit of magic that just is not experienced.
Right.
And so it's okay. I mean, there's no choice about him. So he wasn't given that belief structure. But there's always belief structures that are delivered. So we're just within, imagine that if children didn't have Santa Claus, what would that be like? And I think that's what happens to adults around Christmas time when you don't have the littles and you're not pretending to create this little mystery and magic on the 25th of December. Or if you don't have the belief structure that embodies it, the Christ that's in Christmas sort of thing, which is another reason for the season that people have, which is a belief structure that people have, and they've there's this awareness, or you're celebrating the day, and there's the stories that are told about the 3 wise men and what they're coming from, and there's that mythology that's given over, or the actual story. I'm not trying to for or against anything, but I'm bringing that up. And when those things aren't there with people, it's a much different time of the year. Like you were saying, when the children are grown and they're adults and we've had different losses in your life, and what I experience with people that are grieving, what was such a magical wonder, different experience coming together for all those reasons. And when you're left without those things, what does it mean? What does it mean to you? And that's the part of at least talking about it in this month of December. We're 9 days away from the big day of.
Thanks. Oh, I didn't realize it was that close.
Just for the awareness of the listeners, you got 8 days or something like that.
I'm in my own reality.
Yeah. So belief systems and part of what I just drafted up a few sentences about it, we are given the structure generally from our society or from our parents, or the lack of the structure from our parents. So just like my little nephew, he wasn't given the fairy tale of Santa Claus. I am sure that my niece actually told him the the tale of Saint Nicholas, or she probably shared those stories as a story to him, but not as some reality that he would then have to be dashed when he realized that Santa Claus was parents, which inevitably happens with children.
Yeah.
And then there's some dissonance that happens with that. So it's funny things with belief structures that when we have an awareness that it was a story or, a fable or maybe a myth, then you have to come up with this, just deal with the dissonance that happens when you're like, what?
Yeah.
There's not a man in those cookies that we made and the carrots we put out for the reindeer. That's what?
If you came to Soul Wanderings to get all spirited for the season, you might not get that tonight. Disclaimer. We're not trying to kill your buzz, but
yes. And I never exactly had I would look at people and I don't know what it was about me, but probably the more that I really getting a mechanical awareness of my own personal design, I can see some of the reasons why I didn't have some of those aspects. I just didn't just jump right into the collective understanding of Christmas spirit. And why, some of the language that I've learned is like, that's a collective story. That's the mythology that's out there in the collective. And I don't really have that in my own design. So I just come at it with my own individual way. And I've struggled with it where I think that I should be a particular way and I should be doing this and I should have this, but I didn't ever have it in myself. So I'm like, what's wrong with me sometimes in my life?
Yeah.
And then now it's like, I don't feel like anything's wrong with me. I just recognize I don't treat that day, this day of, or the month of December the same way that other people do. And I respect both things. And I think it gives me more freedom and more fun in it. Just coming to the day and enjoying the presents, not the actual physical gifts, but just being with people, that the presence of the people that I love or the interactions that I have on that day. I've also had some lonely Christmases, sadness, grief, just profound grief. And I've also had some actual Christmases that were almost nightmarish. There was one Christmas that was absolutely awful in my life. That was so just awful.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm not there.
I have a Post-it. I just wrote a couple of things down, like literally in the 30 seconds when it does the countdown. I'm like,
I love it.
Yeah, you hit on some of them.
Oh, good.
But speaking of, before I get there, speaking of the magic of Christmas, like it is what you make of it, right? Regardless of what you believe, there is this essence about this time of year where I feel like people soften a little bit, even if they're stressed or overwhelmed. Like I feel like a lot of them do look for the silver lining. And so there's this energetic buzz that's going around with like hope and possibility. And then you have people going out of their way to help other people, which doesn't happen all year long.
Right.
And then you have people inviting strangers over or going out and spending time with strangers. There's just like all of these moments of magic that take place that don't happen any other time of the year. That's what I enjoy about being a witness to it all. But when I was a kid, like my mom just made Christmas always really special. I don't know what I don't know what it was about her. I don't know where the happiness and belief of Christmas came to her. I'm going to ask her that now that it's in your awareness. Yeah, because she always just made it really special for us. And it's not like we grew up with like a lot, but we were always very rotten on the holidays and our birthdays. The holidays, but specifically Christmas and our birthdays. And so I think that's so special. And then going in with my list of things towards the end, and it's something that you brought up, but I'll get to that. So she taught me that. That's my conditioning. And then going to my dad's on the weekend, like he was a bachelor a lot of the time. We made Christmas ornaments out of cardboard and wrapped them in tin foil. And he had like little mini tree, like there was just something that we did together, and it just always made it really special. And I love, like, even when things were hard, I love that we did something, that we made it meaningful. And it wasn't about like what we got, but physical item, but what we got from the experience. So that was really always cool. My son was the one that took my spirit, my magic of Christmas away.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a holiday dude. So I tried to live up to mom's expectations, because like she did it all through his childhood too, being that cool grandma doing all these things at the holidays. And like he didn't get excited very often. He just so even kill him. Then as an adult, he's like, Christmas is stupid. I don't want to do it. And a lot of times we just even put up a tree because he's like, why? I don't care. But I'd put up a tree and I'm like, it's Christmas. We have to. So that goes on my list too. Anyway, I love the magic of Christmas. I just had to share that. That's the beautiful part of it. When people just soften up and are a little bit kinder to one another.
Right.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. There was a story shared recently in one of my groups where this woman has always shopped Toys for Tots, and she did that with her husband, and her husband died a few years ago, and she's carried that on. And this year she had her daughter took the opportunity to go shopping with her, and her daughter expressed after, she's like, thanks, Mom. That was so fun.
Aww.
To like feel the things with the toys that were going to go somewhere and going to brighten up something. So like this giving it forward, and the generosity and the receiving of that, that was expressed in gratitude. It just touched her heart to say, we're extending this, just a little happiness in a way to the world. And that is part of the magic, where we just catch a bit of that giving spirit to say, we're giving a gift without any expectation or reciprocity that you need to give me a gift back. So can we talk about that just for a minute?
Talk about it, girl.
Like the weight of reciprocity. So I want to bring this up because this came from my Ghost Ranch experience, where it's like, can you receive a gift that someone gives you without being burdened with the guilt or the weight of giving one back? Like, if someone truly gives you a gift, there's no burden that you must give back to them. But we are often burdened with that weight that said, I need to give back to you. I have to give you back. There's this weight that I must return what I was given. So maybe with some awareness, receive.
Yeah. That's not easy for everybody.
No, it's not easy. But if someone has gone through and sometimes the burden of reciprocity is attached to the gift. Exactly. So not all gifts are given without an expectation that they receive something back.
Right. That's how I like to give my gifts. But I feel like the receiving is my gift. When they receive, it is my gift.
Right.
Like that's what they give back to me, is their giddiness and happiness and excitement and just them being happy that I thought of them. But see, I'm a gift giver all year long, just random, like, here's a gift. Here's a gift. One for you. One for you. And then when I'm being told you need to give at Christmas, I'm like, I'll do what I want. I'm not, who says I have to give you something at Christmas? I get sassy about it. But I do give gifts, but not consistently, not all the time during the holidays. I just think that what you said is valid, and we can do that, and we can feel that way. Absolutely. So on my little post-it, so I do nervous system resets with my client because a lot of our pain is because of our nervous system being dysregulated. And not just physical pain, but like emotional pain, stress, all of those kinds of things. So the one thing that I was feeling, I take a little break here and go home and then come back for the show. And so on my drive, I was really feeling on this and observing people just in how they drive, how it's different than any other time. Christmas, like people are, you can feel the tension and the stress in every person next to you in a vehicle driving by. Everyone's in a hurry. People aren't paying attention. They're not in their bodies, right? I feel like everyone is in a rush. There's all of these things going on. And so that alone just causes other people to feel that and like, you tense up, you get crazy. And I really think because we are all so conditioned to be in these routines. And when December hits us, it's like even has started clear back in October for Christmas. It's we start people start stressing so hard.
Yeah.
They start worrying about finances, they start worrying about family gatherings, they start worrying about who they should be getting gifts for, and they start worrying, every little thing. And so that stress comes on, and then in on top of that, your whole routine is out of whack, right?
Right.
Because not only are you doing your normal life things that you've always done on your routine, but you're also adding on Christmas parties and holiday shopping, and you're eating things that you wouldn't normally eat. You're sleeping different hours because visits are lasting longer. You're going to obligation after obligation. And then when you're in these situations, I feel like for me, it's like sensory overload. Like there's just so much going on at one time. It just throws your system out of whack even more so.
Right.
Because then you're in these situations where you've got this Christmas music blasting, and there's people up against you every nook and cranny of every place you go, whether you go shopping or get in your car and go on a drive. If you go out to eat, whatever, there's just like extra people out in the world. Right?
Yes.
And then the music still everywhere you go, it's just like it's like louder than anything in any of the other months. It's just like sensory overload. And then you start feeling nostalgia. December comes around, and all of a sudden everyone is feeling all these emotions because they have happy memories, they have bad memories, they have sad memories, they have people who aren't here this year that were here last year. They have all of these things taking place. And so then you put that on top of it, and you have all these old emotional memories, and your body's like, wait, it's December. We remember this. Oh, crap. Yeah. And then it starts shutting down because it's like fight or flight, because your body remembers how this felt and you're feeling it again. And so it goes into like your whole nervous system just goes into like lockdown, right? Because now you're doing all of this. And then the social exposure. Don't even get me started on the social exposure. People wear me out.
Your antisocial part comes out sometimes when it's supposed to be social.
Right. There's this obligation for us to be social and show up to this party and go to that party. And you need to bring a side dish, and you need to bring a present, and and there's all this need, right? And all this want and all this exposure. So you show up, and then you are obligated to people that you haven't seen in years to respond when they're like, so how you been? And I don't do surface level. So I'm like, well, you sure you want to ask me how I've been? Because I will tell you, it might be awkward and uncomfortable in some moments, but I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm good. I'm fine. Unless I'm only going to be there for a minute because I know that this is going to be too much for me and I'm going to bounce anyway. So, but I mean, people, that's a really hard thing. Just like even just the exhaustion of like catching up after so long.
Right.
So then you put that stress on your body. And then you have like this expectation thing going on. Like they should know I'm not social. They shouldn't have invited me to this party. Or they're wanting me to show up this way and be happy and be excited because they are. And so there's all these expectations. And then you have the shoulds that you were talking about. Right.
Yeah.
So when you leave and you're like, I should have been more happy. I should have been more grateful. I should have brought a gift. I should have. And then you're shitting all over yourself. And then that comes on to this whole other thing. Nate, this give me anxiety. It's no joke.
Relax, breathe.
You got to add all the other things on top of that in December that you may be consuming through the year, but not all in 1 month. Like all of the caffeine, all of the stress, all of the sugar.
Things, yeah.
Yep. And then the performance, right? Because you just gotta be happy and show up. And there's just all of this stuff that's going on that we're conditioned for it to be a certain way.
That's all
because
belief.
the holidays are holly and jolly.
Allegedly.
And I'm like, I don't think so. And you know, we talk about the loneliness that occurs too during the holidays. Like you can be in a room and with a bunch of people and still feel very lonely over the holidays.
Yeah.
Because there's this vibration and there's these things that are going on that other people are feeling and you're just not connected to it. And it's not a judgment or to criticize. Some of us just don't feel it, and that's okay. But we're expected to perform as if it's our thing too. And I just think like the whole conditioning, the coulda, woulda, shouldas, etc., is just way too much on a human being. Well, let's talk about being emotionally available. Anyway, I could go on and on, but you get the point. So we have this conditioning. So what do we do with it? How do we survive? Because I don't ever see like the holidays ever not being a thing, because not all of us collectively are going to be like, let's cancel Christmas.
Right.
That's never going to be a thing. But in our own homes or in our own society. So even this year, like every year, it's an unspoken expectation. No one's has come forward and said, I expect you to. But as the oldest and as someone who was conditioned as the oldest, you hold gatherings for the whole family. It's your responsibility. I've taken that conditioning on and I have put it in full force. Until last year, I started pulling back. This year, I've really pulled back. And then that's when the drama. Well, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? If you're not doing something, what's good? What? You know, and it's like, I don't know. But do you know how free I feel? Yeah. So when you work through that expectation part. You guys can create your own holiday. Like literally lock your doors, close your windows, turn off the lights, watch a scary movie. I don't know. Just do whatever you want, but it doesn't have to be that way. The nervous system thing though is for real. And you think about like the hangover of the holidays in January. There's so many people who are not okay in December and November, December, and January, you guys.
Right.
There's so many people who are suffering.
Right.
And then there's these other people who are celebrating something that is maybe true, maybe fictional, but maybe just conditioning.
Right.
To keep us all controlled. I mean.
Well, you know, you just think about how different even our older stories. If you go back to December would be different if what you spent was, instead of running around bustling and spending dollars, you spend a little time creating a special gift, for each other. It's a different energy that you go into actually creating something that you're going to give to someone that's from your own hands. You're crafting something that's a lot different than if you go to buy things. But the stores need their money. There's commerce that needs to go on. They bank on a lot of that income flow. And so there's this drive that's this way. That's a lot of conditioning that's even in a belief structure that the number of presents under a tree, it needs to be a large number to make your children feel special. Or there's different things like that. That's just, if we're just pulling up this concept of beliefs are not spoken, just like what you said. For years, you believed that it was important for you to be the one to host. You believed that. Where did you get it from? You don't even until you realize that it was not even your, that once you started honoring your own inner authority, and you came to an awareness that's like, I don't think that that's true for me. So it's just uncovering the belief structure a little bit, questioning things and saying, where did that come from? Is it really true for me? Or am I giving in to the shoulds? Somewhere you picked it up along the way. You started crafting your life around that. You weren't necessarily better for it. Maybe you had offered these experiences to people, but that's part of this conversation of saying so many times our beliefs and the structure we live in, it's a double-edged sword, because sometimes it's very beneficial to lean in to a collective culture or into your family tribe and to have those things go on. And then sometimes the awareness is inside of you that said, this doesn't feel satisfying to me, or this doesn't give you peace for you particularly. Like, do you get peace from doing that, or do you get something different? So having an awareness of how it affects you and what would feel better for you. There was a woman that came through my grief groups for a long time, that it was just very stressful for her family. There had been a lot of loss. There had been a lot of difficulty. And so they found a lot of less tension when her and her children just went to the movies. They just went and watched a couple of movies at the movie theater and had popcorn. And it was just so much less stress. And that actually felt better on their nervous system to do that without all this trying to bring families together that weren't actually together. I mean, there's like literal fights, physical fights that break out at family parties, and you go to be around people that you wouldn't pick them except for this obligation.
Right.
Christmas is supposed to be about family.
Right. And, don't get me wrong. I adore my family for what I know about them, because, as we've all gotten older, we've gone our separate ways. But when we get together, it's like we pick up where we left off. But, there's always the extra thing with the family. I've been that extra thing before, or has felt that way. I think that, just the whole aspect of the amount of pressure alone. Just like when I say pressure, everything that happens in this month is pressurized. It literally is. Yeah. That alone is enough for us to, you guys, take a step back. We're not saying break your traditions, because if you love them and it makes you happy, do that. But if you're suffering and you're not happy and you're in obligation or expectation and you're shitting all over yourself, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because no one's forcing us to, but
oh, that's the weight of belief structures, is that we carry them so often unconsciously.
Yeah.
And these types of conversations might crack that open And maybe you can just simply come to it with a different awareness and be free of some of the suffering by attending it in a different way.
Mhm.
Maybe you are a person that's grieving and you're going to, there was someone that said there was his church gathering at a breakfast, and I said, in a grief group, I said, go if you want to go, or don't go, but listen inside of yourself, and
Oh, I
don't
relate.
be, yes, or go on a beach somewhere. Actually did that once in
I
my
love
life.
when I leave over the holidays. It's the
Oh,
best thing ever.
there was one of my very good friends, her daughter died that year, and she's like, I just can't. I just can't. I can't do it. So we went to an island. We had an island vacation. Her husband couldn't not buy a gift. So he bought 2 simple gifts. And that was just so hard for her to even receive the gift. She's like, I said nothing. I said nothing. And so we're like, having this awkward moment. And he's trying to honor what's in him and honor the other things. And so there's these competing forces that often go on. But back to what I was saying about, if you're going to a social gathering and you have the awareness that you're bringing something and your mask is sort of slipping a little, and you're carrying grief with you and you're trying to be happy, but you're not completely happy, maybe you can go and you can see that you're not alone in the mask sort of slipping a little, that maybe there's a lot of other people at that gathering that are experiencing what you're experiencing. And they're doing their best to have a good time when they're sad and maybe a little happy, but there's also a lot of sorrow in their life. And you can start to see that you're not alone with that either.
Oh, look at you flip the coin, Natalie.
That's right. So then you can maybe start to see, and you look up, oh, there was this beautiful woman that I met along the way. And she said for a few years after her husband died, she didn't want to look at people. She had such a hard time looking up at people because maybe they would see her or maybe she would see them. And so she just sort of like, just sunglasses on, don't see what I'm experiencing. Because if I see it in you, I'm not sure I could handle it, because I'm doing my best to hold myself together in this. But we can also see that we're in a sea of humanity. Like you were saying, you're driving out there and you're noticing that you're not alone in this stressed out thing. And just like, okay, let's take a breath and maybe free ourselves from some of the obligations that were imposed on us by a belief structure that we didn't have the awareness of, and saying, oh, okay, all right. But if we come to it with mindfulness and awareness, we can meet it in a different way than if we're unconsciously following along something. It's buying into it in a different way with some consciousness.
Right.
And you might find that you have the ability to help free other people from the obligation by actually having a conversation instead of having it be an unspoken thing. Open up the conversation at some point and say, are you feeling that too? Just like what we're doing. Are you feeling that too? Could we just no gifts? I don't want one more trinket to put on my shelf. I'm just so overwhelmed by getting things. I'm more interested in simply spending time with each other and sharing stories or something. And people like, is that possible?
That's exactly how I planned my family function this weekend. I said, I will have one on one condition. We don't do gifts. And I'm not just cooking and cleaning all day. Like, I want to sit down and be with you guys. So can everyone pitch in? So I'm not cooking and cleaning all day.
Right.
And now I'm just like, oh, there goes that weight. Now I can sit and chill with people and have moments with people.
Yeah. Much less stress.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to look or be a certain way. That's the thing, is we're conditioned. We got to have this fancy Christmas dinner, and we got him by crazy Uncle Larry, and we have to whisper in the corner about all the family secrets. For me and my cousins, we would just go and grab our mom's drinks and go in our bedrooms. Like you can make it whatever you want. That's the fun thing about it.
That's right.
Mom's looking for a drink. She's like, "Where'd I set my drink? I don't know. Where'd you put it?"
It's
Real
so funny.
story.
Well, I mean, kids are, start imitating the adults. And so,
If they can check out on the holidays, so can we. Fair is fair.
all the things that go on, and you crack up with that conversation about the things, and you start having these kind of conversations. It's sort of funny in a way, but then it's opening it up and allowing for it to perhaps shift.
Yeah.
Because that's okay too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And this show isn't all like, oh, this is sucky about Christmas. This sucks.
No.
We're not doing that. That's not what we're trying to do. The last part of this is all love and light and positivity.
Ooh, that's coming.
Natalie's bringing it. I don't have it to offer this month.
Well,
he's a ray of sunshine. Everyone knows this.
There was somewhere along the way, because I used to there was some fun creativity where I would package together like coworkers gifts, but as I've moved away from having that cubicle land coworkers type of thing, it shifted a lot, and I actually started going places, and my presence was the presence that I was providing for people, and allowing that. And I did find that actually works. And I do have my sunny disposition. So oftentimes that's not everybody's thing. That's my thing. And I get to have my thing, and I get to bring that to the thing. And I get to be the life of the party because I'm so extroverted.
It's why I like bringing you to parties and no one's paying attention to me.
And I get talking and I'm in my element, and that's fun for me. But for the introverts, it's not always that way. They get anxious and just like, ugh, so it's honoring a lot of those things we talk about all the time. This part, knowing about your nature, knowing about your design, and fitting into that, and allowing you to be your own nature and to shed some of that conditioning that's there. That's really what I wanted to bring up in this conversation. This topic was, have you just sat down and just sort of examined those belief structures? And it happens too if you were raised in a religious fashion, or if you weren't raised in a religion fashion, and then where you are now in your life, you've re-examined some of the things, and you're just like, I don't quite buy into that myth, but I can see that there's maybe some substance in that. And maybe there's a good lesson learned or moral to that story, or what is the story trying to. This is the other thing about examining beliefs, that through examination you can perhaps look at it as a myth, and mythologies carry a message that can then be given to your life in a different way. It's not a should then, it's a wisdom that's embedded in a story. What's the wisdom of that? I mean, I'm going to, oils, and the carriers of things. So what the spirit of frankincense or myrrh would have delivered to someone. If you're bringing those, if I bring someone frankincense, what am I bringing them?
A gift.
Right. But what's
a powerful healing tool?
Right.
Yes. A multifunctional gift. Yes. So good.
Right. So there's those types of things that through some investigation, through some learning, like in an intellectual way, you can bring that to it. And it might strip away some of the magic, but it might reveal the deeper meaning in a story as well.
I find the holidays are really fun when you do traditions. Like so many people I know here are, let's buy matching jammies, like family pajamas. I think that's a fun tradition. I don't like matching pajamas. I don't like Christmas pajamas, but it's fun and I play along and I even smile about it. And the actual responsibility that I've owned is now I'm grandma, so I do that.
You get to pass that on.
Yeah, because it just was so fun receiving them as a kid, right? Like as an adult, like that's just not really, I don't want to wear pajamas, Christmas ones specifically. And it's just fun though when you like, I spent hours looking for Christmas pajamas this week. Hours because I had to make sure my grandbabies had cute holiday pajamas. And it was just like, this will be so good because my son had this tradition and he will just love it, you know? And like stuff like when you make it fun and not like, even though it's a tradition and maybe there is some sense of obligation, but you know how important it is to the other people, it becomes special and important to you.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that because it feels so good. Like it just like they'll be so happy about it. And I don't have to tell them the whole time I was cursing how this is crazy. I can't find matching pajamas in everyone's sizes. Oh my gosh. I was late. I was late to the game. But, you know, it's still like very rewarding when I got to the end and I was like, oh, but this will go and this will go and this will go. And yay, we have a family matching set. And then all the way home, I'm like, oh, I can't stand Christmas. You know, like embrace what is with the holidays. There's like all of this pressure and all of this sadness and loneliness and there's also a lot of beautiful things like the magic we were talking about and the happiness that can occur. But it really, just like with anything else in life, it's an inside job. And you can be angry and bitter and frustrated and all of those things when it comes to like the way Christmas has become, the commercialization, all the people making the money, the people who are suffering. Like you can get really angsty about all of that. And also, what is it going to do? But create a very hostile environment inside of yourself.
Right.
So it is an inside job at the end of the day, regardless if you like it or not. And trust me, you guys, if you don't, I give myself pep talks the whole month of December. I have to take deep breaths to get through it. It's not my favorite thing, but I can see beauty in it, right? You just have to stop and take the pause and look around. There is magic there. And it didn't necessarily come from a belief system. It comes from the people who've created it. And that could be people in your family. That could be going to a community event. That could be serving the homeless or spending time with, you know, with the elderly. It can be so many things. And it doesn't have to be what the whole propaganda has been.
Right.
For us. It can be anything that you want. The environment that you grow is inside of you. So water it. Say nice things to it. Nurture it, and it will be a much different experience.
So if what I hear you saying, you're also attending to the thoughts that you have, and you're brightening that. So you're bringing light into the thoughts and maybe letting go of the heavier, denser ones.
Yeah. I mean, we get to feel our feels, right? Not all of us are going to feel that way.
No.
But I also believe that without the heavier stuff, there isn't the light stuff. So feel all the things you want to feel or need to feel or get to feel. Yeah. Be grateful you get to have that experience to feel those things. And also on the flip side of that, there is beauty in everything. All you have to do is stop and look.
Right.
Pay attention. No matter how bad you're suffering, how lonely it is, how frustrated or angry you are that it's become what it has become, you still get to decide. You still get to like love on your nervous system, right? You still get to take care of yourself and nurture yourself and love yourself through it. Just like any other month. But this one's just extra.
It is just extra. So I want to bring up, so this is the darkest time of the year. as
That's
far as
the other
light
thing.
goes.
Yeah.
So tradition, historically, and we're still woven, it's still woven into our genes that even though it was hundreds of years ago, this is a time to allow for some hibernation, because that's what we have still genetically in us, is to have some rest periods. And so there is this irony in the modern living where we have lights all the time. We don't actually have our houses much more naturally lit by the outside light. We have these artificial lighting things, so we don't really have that whole circadian rhythm like in our environment, but we have it in our external with the sun. And so there's sometimes the allowing for the rest that this time actually calls from us. And then there's the traditions that say the shedding of everything as everything dies off, and then the rebirth that happens after we cross over that solstice, the solstice period, where it's the darkest. See, it's on your list. That's good.
I didn't bring it up. It's here. Well, yeah, because summer solstice really, I mean, it is a hibernation season, you guys, and then we're forced to go out of hibernation. It's against our rhythm.
Yeah.
So if it feels off, it because it really is.
Right.
It's not in your head.
Right. But we can lean into that a little bit, and it would be another belief structure, but maybe it resonates with you to say that this is a time of letting go as well. Because it goes from, so this isn't just Christmas time, but there's also this time of going towards the light. And so you drop the heavy, dense things in this dark part of the year. It's made for that, of putting some things down that were heavy in the darkness, as you then as we march towards more and more light, which is a good thing to do. Yeah. That
was a drink for you, not a cheers.
Thank you. Mine's over there. It's hard to reach. It's what happens when I'm like sliding in, sliding into home base right before. Eek.
Right at.
Because my life, I have to shift gears often quick. And there's times in my work where I have a person in a place and I just can't leave them there. Like I have to carry it all the way through. And the way that my schedule's stacked up, I have to do it with as much care as possible and just move at the next moment. So fortunately that went well, where I felt like I didn't leave a person in such a dark place, where it was like dip in and then come out of it. Oh, the blessings I get from my work of getting to step into those heavier places and empower those that are deeply stricken with grief or loss, struggling with allowing the sorrow to have its place. Grief needs a place at the table. It really does sort of demand that from us on quite a level that a lot of us don't want to have it demand from us. Grief comes to visit so often during these times of the year because there's this vacancy where people were and they aren't. And so people that are alive after their loved ones died are left to, how do I find both? How do I have joy and grief at the same time? And it can feel so incompatible, but it isn't. So I would tell people, pre-grieve, like sit with that. This is really, a lot of people have used it, where if you sit with your grief before you have to go to a gathering, or you sit with your own internal feelings and you give them attention, because feelings need attention mostly. They need acknowledgement and they need attention. And then you empty that part of your cup out, and then you go and interact with people. And you might find that you do have a little bit more capacity than you thought you might before you sat with your grief or you're lonely or those types of feelings that are going on in you.
Yeah. I accidentally flashed the banner and it shut off, and then it went back on and shut off. But I'm going to show it again, just so you guys know I'm not crazy. I don't know what's happening, but this is Natalie's page. If you guys are going through grief this holiday season, I would really tune into her page on Instagram or Facebook. She's just going to be sharing some holiday extras with you, and there's some other good stuff on grief on her page. So, and it's a good way for you to just, if you're unable to like be with someone or contact Natalie, then you can go to her page and hopefully find what you're looking for in that regards.
Or shoot me a message and I'll send a reply.
newnormal.bydesign for those who aren't watching and just listening. newnormal.bydesign. So this is our last show of the year. Yay for 2025. What a wild ride.
Right.
It has been something. We left KGRA. We moved our location. We've done a lot of things this year that were bittersweet and challenging and also necessary, because that's just how life goes sometimes, right? So I'm grateful for it all. Thanks for being my ride or die through it all.
Right back at you. There were some times where it's like, woo, it's a good thing we knew it was a 9-year. Oh, then we know it's a 9-year.
Yeah.
That energy that we talked about way back months ago. And then
it's been something, but there's beauty in all things, even the holidays.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I know that there will be some lovely memories created over the next couple of weeks in my own life. And I look forward to those gatherings. I look forward to a little bit of rest.
Yeah, rest is good. Rest is good. If you guys are curious, we'll be back January 7th, the first Wednesday of the year. And as always, we are interested in what you guys want to talk about. So if you have a show topic request, please email us at connect@soulwanderings.com. You can also direct message us on any of our social platforms, and you can connect to those by just going to our website, soulwanderings.com, and just clicking on all of those. We would love to hear what you want to talk about. Topics are fun. Help us out.
Yes. Add to our list and see what else I get inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. We wish you all a merry holiday as well, and a happy new year. Next year's going to be amazing. We say this every year because it has the potential.
Even this year has been amazing.
Oh, for sure. It's all amazing. Amazing. There is beauty in it all. There really truly is. But before we leave, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you, our wanderers, for taking this leap of faith with us, leaving a more populated platform to start all over again here on YouTube and on Facebook. You guys have been so supportive, and we appreciate you following us and finding us here and supporting us with your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, like all of the things, you guys. We do it because we love it. And even if there's one person, we would still show up, but we're blessed to have more. So thank you so much. There's not a day or a week, I should say, that goes by that Natalie and I just don't sit here in awe and gratitude for it. So thank you.
I agree.
Good.
Ditto on that.
All right, everyone. Happy holidays. We'll see you on January 7th. Good night.
Have a good